Alright, we the Hebrew Israelites come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of your precious kingdom. Alright? And a few things that you've been seeing throughout this, throughout this year. Alright, you've had plenty of celestial bodies out there getting you people to knowing, right, exactly what's coming forth. Because from the foundations of the earth, you had it to where, man, the Most High has always put signs in the skies to let you know the times of the seasons that we're in, man. And we're in the times of the season for this kingdom to be destroyed, man. That's why you see in the horse-shaped chariots out there, of which what's a horse is symbolic of. A horse is symbolic of power, man. That's why you have a car, it's rated in horsepower. Alright? A horse is symbolic of power. And when you're seeing signs in the skies like that, man, that's the Most High letting you know that he's about to unleash his power out here, man.
Oh, no.
Alright? Namely, he's going to come back by way of his chariots, which you know as the UFOs. Alright? And just prior to that, you're going to have martial law instituted. Alright? And when martial law is being instituted, the Most High is going to have it to where his men's going to be raised up and elevated. Well, some of them is going to have to die as well. Right? Some of his men's going to be raised and elevated to where the Most High said it in the scriptures, of which I might touch on a little bit later on. Right? The precept where it talks about the Most High is going to make Israel his battle axe. Alright? And what are you going to do with the battle axe, man? You're going to execute judgment. And what are you going to execute judgment of? Right, you had the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans in a perpetual state of enslavement. That's going to have to be avenged. All right, and the Most High said it best in the scripture of Zechariah, the second chapter and the 8th verse. All right, Israel is the apple of his eye, his focal point. All right, so if it's his focal point, and you put all of this hell upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and all of Israel dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth, what's going to happen, man? The Most High is going to have his elect avenged, man. That's why when you go into the scriptures, it says, Israel shall not be ashamed nor confounded, man. Because when all is said and done, right, Esau's going to be destroyed, right? All of these different nations and all of these different kingdoms, whether they be in the Arab world, man, or whether they be in England, right, in America, all of these different kingdoms, man, perpetuated by America. Right, because America's the one that spreads all of this democracy throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Right, that's when you go into the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter. It pretty much calls America Babylon, all right, and her cup has been poured out throughout the four corners of the earth, man. The cup of her abominations has been poured out throughout the four corners of the earth, man. That's why she's gonna be destroyed. But all of these other different kingdoms, they're gonna have to be destroyed as well, man. And that goes into the book of Daniel, the second chapter on the 44th verse. In the days of these kings shall the Most High set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed, man. Right, so, man, like I said, when all is said and done, right, you Jakes, you Negroes, all of Israel is going to be all right, man. You're going to be all right. All right, and, without much further ado, I'm going to get into some scriptures. I'm going to be jumping around as I always do. All right. But, I started off in the book of Micah, the 4th chapter. And the 4th verse, man. We'll just run it like that. So this is going to be in the book of Micah, the 4th chapter. The first verse, all right? So it says, and in the last days, all right, it shall come to pass that the mountains of the house of the Lord shall be established, right? That's what you're seeing in the four corners of the earth. You've got camps rising up, right? You've got all kind of different groups and peoples and leaders, but principally the house of GMS, man, which is the house of David, man. Right, when we go into the book of Amos, the 9th chapter and the 8th verse, which I'm going to touch on right here quick. Right, it says, in the last days, the Most High is going to set up the tabernacles of David, man, as it was in the old times. And that's what we're seeing right now. You got camps throughout the four corners of the earth being rising up, man, telling you the same thing that the prophets have done said before from the foundations of the earth, man. Right, the great Jeremiah, the 28th chapter says, the prophets that have been before you and before thee of old have told you the same thing, man. Roughly paraphrasing, they prophesied against many kingdoms, man. Right, letting you people that your precious kingdom, your precious society is going to be destroyed. All right, and the Most High is going to set up his own thing, man. All right. So this is in the book of Amos, which is in the prior chapter, select. I'm gonna start in the 9th. I'm gonna start at the 8th verse because the 8th verse is good as well. This is Amos the 9th chapter and the 8th verse. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom." Right, and we know this is This is the most sinful of all kingdoms, man. Once a kingdom is just a line, a kingship, right, a domicile of the kings. And who are the kings of the earth right now, man? The so-called Rothschilds, right, DuPonts, all of those so-called elite Jews, man. Of which, when you go into the scriptures, we're the real Jews, man. They ain't the real Jews, man. And how do we know they ain't the real Jews? When you go into the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and really all the curses spoken about in the book of Deuteronomy, they only apply and they're only applicable, right, to the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. When you go into the history of the, the prophecy, right, our forefather Jacob gave unto the 12, his 12 sons, right, including the sons of Joseph, right, which constitute Ephraim and Manasseh, you know, kind of remembering it from the top of my head, all right. He told them what was going to happen in the latter times, man. What was going to happen in the latter days, man. And that's a main identifying factor to who the 12 tribes of Israel are and what they was going to be, man. Right? Namely, for example, off the top of my head, right? He said, Gad, our troop was going to overtake thee in the latter days. Right? And what happened to the so-called Native Americans, man? They had them so-called Edomites come, them Edomites come up into that land, which that land belonged to the Native Americans. All right, they had them so-called Edomites come up into there, made all kind of treaties with them, and broke every last one of them, man. Going to show you that the treacherous ways of Esau, which I haven't changed from the foundations of the earth. Does not the scripture say, "Trust not thy enemy"? Right? And you got all of these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans believing that Esau's gonna change, man. You ain't gonna find peace with this man. All right. What you're gonna find out is the only way you can establish peace by this man is by doing what the scripture says, man. Right, executing the judgment written, right, by the Most High from the foundation of the earth, namely Esau being distracted, right, and completely being taken from the face of the earth, man. That's when peace is gonna be established, man. Namely peace between all of these different nations, man. Esau's gonna have to be destroyed, man. The wicked root's gonna have to be rooted out, man. That's what's gonna have to happen before you can have no more wars within the earth. Because who are the first and foremost, who are the main benefactors of all these different wars, man? Right, whether it be financial wars in the so-called financial markets where they, you know, inflating certain prices of certain things, right, or depleting prices of certain things. Who are the main benefactors of that? Esau, namely America. All right, and guess what's going to happen, man? For all of that war, right, whether it be on a physical sense, where you got all of this destruction that they're doing out there in the Middle East, man, under the guise of ISIS and all of that, and when you go into the history, furthermore into who's funding ISIS, right, who set up ISIS and all of that, you find out it was the same Americans, man, the CIA. Right, so if you want peace in the world, guess what, man? America's gonna have to be destroyed, man. Namely, you Edomites is gonna have to be taken from the face of the earth, man. That's what the scripture says in the Amos 9th chapter. The eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, man. But principally because they go off on another principle is the fact that they go off on the Lord's statutes, commandments that He set forth from the foundations of the earth, man. Right, you ain't food that you ain't supposed to eat. Right, you're supposed to eat in a certain way. Right, you're supposed to conduct yourself in a certain stature. You're supposed to have sex with certain things. You ain't supposed to be having sex with animals and the same sex and all of that, man. That's against nature. Not only just against the scriptures of the Most High. Right, that's against nature, man. All right, and that's why you got it right now. Right, the scripture says, right, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, man, and He's going to destroy it from off the face of the earth, man, for all of their wickedness that they've done, man. All right. Sorry, the wind's blowing stuff around. Should be all right. Should hope. All right, it's back in Amos, the 9th chapter. Right, it says, "And I'll destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving utterly. I will not destroy the house of Jacob." And what's going to happen? The Most High is going to, He's got it right now, right? He's got mercy upon His elect. Right, the elect of the house of Israel is waking up to the truth. All right, you got GMS, right, which is the pinnacle, right, which is the Mayweather of this truth. You got camps all over the world waking up, right? So that prophecy is being played out, man. But another prophecy that's going to be played out is the fact that this kingdom's going to be destroyed, man. You can see it in your finances breaking down, man. 2015 could be the year, right, that your pound crashes, man. 2015 could be the year that your dollar crashes, man. All right, and when you go into the financial history of all the different currencies that have been set forth from the first currencies, right? Because when you go into money and what money is really the trade of substances that don't deplete, namely a cow for a cow, or gold for gold, man. No currencies that tomorrow, right? You put a pound in the bank tomorrow, it's gonna be worth 50 pence, man. And that's what you got out here. That's what currency is, man. It's fiat currency. It doesn't really exist, man. All right, and you got all of these people, especially the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They be all up into that currency, man. They'll die for that, man. They'll die for a pound or a dollar, man. Of which a pound or a dollar, when you really go into it, it's a measurement. It's a measurement. It's like saying a kilogram, man. Right, a kilogram of what? Of gold. But they don't deal with that. See, the elites, they deal with gold and the selling of slaves and all of that, man. Real currency, real wealth and real money, man. All right, but going back onto the point, man, your kingdom's still gonna be destroyed. Your finances going down, right? You're at the precipice of war with Russia, right? Iran is, Israel is at the precipice of war with Iran, and either one of those two factors can lead into an all-out world war, man. And what's going to happen when the all-out world war plays through? The Most High is going to only save his elect, man. Right, and the rest of the world is going to have to be destroyed. All right, so you can set forth something, better. All right. So it says here, and shall not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations like corn is sifted in a sieve. Right, so the elect, wherever they were going to be, whether they were going to come from different countries, whether they were going to be Italian, whether they were going to be, Chinese, whether they was going to be so-called African American, all of that, the elect was going to be sifted from African or whatever, man. Right? Because when you go into the scriptures say, Israel was going to be dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. That was one of the curses. That's how we know those so-called Jews in the land of Israel right now. They ain't the real Jews. If they were, where's the other 12 tribes, man? Sorry, furthermore, where's the other, because Judah, when you go into the scriptures, pretty much was talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi going back into the split of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, you ask these so-called Jews, where is the rest of the tribe? They ain't gonna know, man. Why? Because they ain't the real Jews. All right, when you go into the diaspora, the dispersal of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, right, you ask them about that, they ain't gonna know, man. Why? Because they ain't the real Jews. They really deal with Satan when you go into the higher elites of them so-called Jews, man. They really into Satan worship, man. Right, and that's why when you go into their main means of keeping them, their main means of controlling people. All right, they be all up into that the push of Satanism, right? The worship of Satan, everything contrary to the scriptures, man. Right, that's why when you go into the scriptures in Revelation 2nd chapter and the 9th verse, right, and Revelations the 3rd chapter and the 9th verse, it calls them the synagogue of Satan, man. Of which principally that starts off with you so-called, some of you that call yourselves Israelites, man. Because you're the synagogue of Satan. You say things contrary to the scriptures. You're worse than Esau, man. Because you know of the good word of the Most High, man. You know that this man is going to be destroyed, and you still perpetuate that, that peaceable type of mentality, man. A comfortable mentality that the Most High ain't dealing with, man. The Most High said you're supposed to hasten the day, man. He said you're supposed to make your calling and election sure, man. Give diligence to make your calling and election sure. Meaning what? You come out here when it's cold, when it's warm. All right, when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it, and guess what? Even when you don't feel like it, you come out here. The Most High will put you on your spirit to where things flow, man. All right. So it says here, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel, right, among all nations like corn is sifted in the sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Right, and it says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. And what's that going into? That's going into the 2/3, man. Of which, when you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, man, he says many great mysteries are going to come to pass. But he also goes on to say, right, don't take care of these 2 first, man. Don't worry about them, man. They've had their, when you go into the scriptures, man, they had their consolation, man. They lived it up, man. They were in a perpetual state of enjoyment. Now we're going to rejoice when the Most High destroys this kingdom, when the Most High raises up his elect, right? When he's got all of these different nations in captivity, man. Right? Because when you go into the book of Revelations, the 9th chapter, the 13th chapter, and the 9th verse, right? It lets you know, man, if any man has an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity is going to go into captivity. So the table's going to be flipped around, man. Right? The table's going to be flipped on their head, right? And now you're going to have it to where the servant is going to be over his master, man. And the master is going to be beneath his servant, man. Namely, Esau is going to be brought down to the ground. When you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, it tells you exactly the same thing, man. Right? From when Jacob and Esau were born, right? Jacob held the heel of Esau as it came out, man. Right? And so shall the end of this world, man. It's going to be the beginning of Jacob's world, man. Israel's world, man. And Israel's world ain't going to be destroyed, man. It's going to stand forever, man. Right? Which is what you're supposed to be hastening the day for, man. All right? It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil day shall not overtake us, nor prevent us, right? Because you got people within the circle of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, which know they're the Israelites, right? That pretty much are in a comfortable state of thinking, man. They're pretty much in a state of, man, this, the day ain't gonna come, man. They're in a state of hastening, man. They're in a state of, comfortability, man. They're in a house of rejoicing and laughing and joking and all of that, man. Right? But the scriptures clearly says in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, which I might touch on a little bit later on, right? Hastening the day, man. Meaning you're supposed to want it to come now, man. No, maybe next week, man. I'll be all right next week. Right, because you really, man, the longer you stay out here, the more you're going to be destroyed, right? Because the food you eat and all of that is all messed up. What's going in your mind in terms of music and what you're watching on the television, that's all messed up and it's completely designed, right, to weaken your mind, man. So the longer you stay in this kingdom, the worse off you're going to be. Notwithstanding, the Most High said, not shall the least of the grain is going to fall upon the earth, man. Right, so the elect's going to be all right anyway, man. All right? And it says here, in that day, right, will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breaches thereof. And that was the point I was getting at, man. In the day that we're in right now, you're seeing that tabernacles of David is being set up, like I said, man, that GMS, the Great Millstone, right, which with the Most High set up the Great Millstone to be the grinding, the thorn in the heel of Esau right now, man, grinding your kingdom down in the spiritual sense, of which the Most High is going to manifest that in the physical sense when the chariots come forth. When you go to war with them Russians, man, that's going to be physically manifested when the Lord himself, right, Yahweh Shai, when he comes on the scene, he's gonna be a partaker of that, man. He's gonna be implementing some of that destruction, man. He said he's not gonna meet you as a man, all right? He's gonna be in his celestial body, man. Right? Why is he gonna be in his celestial form, man? Because he's gonna be working, man. He's gonna be putting in that work into destroying your society, man. He said it best when he was on the scene. He said, when he comes back, man, he's gonna have it to where not even one brick is gonna be left upon another, man. All right. He said in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, the elements are gonna melt, man. When you go into the Isaiah, the 24th chapter, it says the earth shall reel to and fro, man, like a drunkard, man. Right? That's how much, ICBMs is gonna be blowing up, man. Right, coming from these different nations that you so-called made peace with, but you infiltrated them, right, and you stole all their natural resources. But really going back to the fact that you've been a perpetual, right, and a perpetual approach to the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. You put all kind of hell upon them, and that must needs be avenged, man. All right. It says here, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breaches thereof. And I'll raise up his ruins and build it as in the old days. So we're going to be set up in our old days. And what does that go to prove, man? That goes to prove reincarnation, right? Same with the book of Jeremiah, the 28th chapter, on the 8th verse, which I quoted earlier, man. Prophets will go come back in their state of being prophets, and scoffers will come back in their state of being scoffers, man. Right? And when it goes in I think it's in Peter somewhere where he speaks about in the last days shall come scoffers, man. Right? After walking after their own lusts, man. You a preacher, man? No? Doesn't the scripture say you're supposed to, stand up for you preach, man? I mean, that's the punk ass spirit you got out here, man. Not even these preachers are gonna stand for their word, man. Right? But we know they're liars, man. And that goes to prove to you, man. Because if I help us to something so-called truth, man, all right, then I'm gonna stand for it, man. That's a point, man. That's the devil. You got the devil teaching our people how to conduct themselves right now, man. Right, that must need to be put into the right place, man. Right, and we going even deeper into it, the so-called Roman Catholicism, which is the perpetual, which is the principle. They're the top guys, right? When it comes to these so-called religions and all of that, and the Pope and all of that, man. That's run all by the so-called the so-called Illuminati and the Masonry and all of that, man. In fact, Charles Taze Russell was a supreme Mason. He was the founder of the so-called Jehovah's Witness, man. Right? He was a straight up devil, man. He was a straight up devil, man. He was something like a 33rd degree Mason, man. And he was the founder of you Jakes, man. You especially you Benjamites, man. Right? You're all up into that so-called Jehovah's Witness, man. All right. But they're all devils. They're all been set up in the devil's right to beguile you, man. When you go into the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, it speaks about the serpent was going to cast forth water, right, as if a flood, right after the woman, man. And what's that water? It was all of those different philosophies that you got out here, man. Christianity or Islam. Right, all of that. That was all set up to beguile the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, so they don't get into the word of the Most High, man. Right, because the minute we was gonna get into the word of the Most High, the elect be sealed, the end wouldn't need to come, man. Right, when you go into the scriptures, man, it speaks about pretty much, you know, that they're not coming right up until the point that the elect was sealed, man. And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting. That's what you're supposed to give diligence, man. Right, that's why you're supposed to put in work, whether it's cold or whether it's warm, whether you're comfortable doing, whether you're uncomfortable doing. You're supposed to be trying to seal through the power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, seal the elect of the Most High, man. Not pussyfooting on